we find that actually it's one of our most popular programs with the Fortune 100 companies that we get to work with is presenting to C-suite. We like to call it mastering presentation and communication to C-suite. And it comes about, as I said, because many people have those technical skills of how to do their job, but when it comes to that moment of speaking to someone in that level of C-suite, they are often getting quite nervous. They add too much detail, as Demian has said. But in particular, what we find is most of us have a default mode when it comes to presenting. We've never actually been taught, right? Unless you've gone to seek it out yourself to learn how to up-level your communication at an executive level when there's often less time, higher pressure, more people involved. So we really like it's a 2-day program that we do, and I've actually got one this afternoon over the next 2 days that we're doing for EY and one of their groups there across Asia, their Asian group. And it really helps to become aware of that default mode in the first place through that feedback loop in terms of smaller groups, presenting and getting that feedback. And in particular, we really like to look at understanding C-suite in the first place. Like, let's try and get into their minds a little bit, into their worlds. That helps with context, right? As I sort of said before. And then really important, one of my most favorite parts to do is about how to achieve clarity. Before you even turn up, what is that key focus, that one repeatable core message that you want to come back to? Not 10, not 50. And believe me, when we go and do like slide mastery and they show us some of their slides, we're like, oh my gosh, let's come back to this core focus. So how do we find that clarity in the first place in terms of what I want to say? And then actually some of our key structures, because people love structure, and following that sort of formula idea that we have been able to put together to allow better structure in those presentation moments. But then we also work on that confidence as well, that gravitas almost in a way in those particular moments, so that people, as Demian said, we really do start to look at what is that's sort of stopping you in those moments. Let's help you with something as simple as being okay with silence, or finding the moments to pause and slow down when the assumption is if I say more, I look more intelligent. So I like to see in these 2 days that we do, we really help people to notice their default mode. What is my way I just naturally fall into every single time? Become aware of it, and how can I actually try something different with some feedback and some encouragement and some changing it on the spot. And I'd love to show you one of those key structures that we use, which is called our authority communication framework, that really helps people to structure that presentation, whether it's just the opening or a longer presentation. We show them how to do that. And it could be something any of you in this room might want to use if you've got a presentation coming up very soon, and we are happy to share that with you. So it can be used when you're about to propose a course of action, but it also can be modified if you are walking in more of a sort of sales point of view as well. And the key elements we help people learn in terms of this structure is a problem, a solution, evidence, example. That's where the story comes in that Demian was talking about, and then detail. And if you remember Demian's quadrant and all of those different quadrants, this particular framework links directly to it, so that it allows to make sure that you have something for all of those quadrants. Because ultimately, in our audience, every single time, C-suite are always going to be a myriad of those quadrants. So you want something for all of them. You want those who are visual, you want those who are big thinking, you want those who are detailed, and this particular framework really helps to tick off all of those areas in a succinct way. We go a little bit further as well, and we help with some starting sentences, some suggested sentences. And then we actually start moving straight into breakout rooms with our participants and putting it into action straight away. And many of them like to do lots of evidence or lots of problems. So helping them to see like where can we pull back on areas, where can we add a little bit more in areas in order to really land their message in those moments when presenting to C-suite. So it's a really powerful 2 days where we see quite a transformation over those 2 days.